think, just changing the way things are set up on my other screen here, I can probably do that. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, so the whole idea of this is that students will have the opportunity to explore. So I'm going into a school to support a teacher and some students starting their implementation of Minecraft Education Edition, right? And what I want to be able to do, or how can I explain this? What I've showed it to the teacher about is that he wants to give students, most of his students are comfortable playing Minecraft. They've been playing Minecraft for ages, which is kind of what we'd expect. So what he wants to do, that microphone is clipping. Are you sure it's not too loud, Matt? Well, that disappeared Minecraft for you, didn't it? It's a bit loud. Let's knock that back down to there. Okay. Okay, it's clipping on OBS, that's all. Alright. So he wants to give students the opportunity to explore Education Edition. And then after a while, so after sort of 10-20 minutes or so, he has the idea that students are probably going to want to have something to do, and he's conscious of not letting them just play but having a purpose for the session that they're going to be in. So what I figured a good way of doing that would be to sort of have an intro to these 3 kinds of blocks. So all the EE specific stuff is what I'm thinking, the stuff that isn't in the Minecraft the kids normally play. So it's not just a tour, it's an interactive experience. How's that sound? Where are the boards there? So these guys. And then NPCs as well. And the camera and the portfolio. So what am I missing? The mentors are picking on me. What am I missing in terms of things that kids need to know about? So basically what I want is a place in this space here where students can, how does this special thing work, Map? Yeah, kind of like that. And how do they interact with it? So they will, you know, try and get across the border blocks, and of course they won't be able to, even if they're that sort of thing. And then place blocks here and try and place blocks here, and just show them how these blocks, how if things don't behave like they would in a normal game. So if you're going somewhere and all of a sudden you see these red particles, because those red particles go all the way up, you know, that means that there's a border block there and you can't go across it. And how they can use these things and what they look like and what they're for. I'm thinking, I don't know whether to give them World Builder or not. That's sort of, I'm not sure yet whether to give them the ability to create NPCs is a good idea. I think it is, and I'm leaning towards yes, but I don't know when that happens. More importantly, for the lessons that we are going to run is using the camera and the portfolio and then exporting that out to a file, and being able to give that to the teacher If you give that, export that and then give it to the teacher for assessment kind of thing is what I'm thinking. So I want it to be interactive. I want it to be playful. It's probably the best way to say it. It doesn't have to be like a game, but I don't want it to be, this is a border block, try and cross the border block. So if you've got any suggestions there, Matt, or you want to jump in, are you parenting at the moment, perhaps? Wait 11 seconds for the latency. Wonder if I can turn it off while let's get the quick latency stuff while I'm on stream. I don't think I can. Okay, fair enough. Not an issue. Jeez, all kinds of notifications on my phone. All right. So, let's say the students start somewhere in here. Are they going to be in creative? I don't know. That's a discussion. We're probably better off starting over there. So if we set the world spawn over here somewhere. Where are the balloons? Don't you start, Miss Cloud. It could only be you saying that. So yeah, I reckon if we set world spawn here. Right. So just so that we know where it is. All right, that's world spawn. So the kids have the opportunity to go and there are probably going to be some kids that aren't comfortable in Minecraft, so they'll have the opportunity to learn from each other and learn themselves about how to actually go and play. How to move around, how to interact and all that sort of stuff, how to break blocks, how to collect blocks. So I'm thinking we're starting in survival, all right, and the kids could just go explore for a bit, and then we might end up in creative, where the kids can then learn how, if they don't already know, how to fly and everything. And then towards the end, sort of after maybe 20 minutes or so, I want to be able to give them the ability to interact with all of these education edition specific things. So what I'm thinking, I'd love to build a boat. Do I have time to build a boat? All right, that'll give me something to build from. Yeah, good guess, Matt. Alright. So this way they can't get up here. A yacht. Here we go. That'd have to be Ben, I'm guessing. You want to come and help me build a yacht? I'd be happy to build a yacht. But I don't want them to be able to get onto it, so it'd have to be surrounded by border blocks. The good ship helpful, yeah, given recent comments this morning. So I don't want them to be able to get onto it until we're ready. So I want to be able to teleport them into it. Yeah, I want to be able to teleport them into it. My screens over here are all wrong. When we're ready. So, and then I want to make it, like say, interactive. Why not use the rowboats? Yeah, we could get them to row out here. They're going to be in creative at some stage, so I'm going to have to surround it by border blocks anyway, so that they can't fly into it, or build deny blocks underneath it or whatever, so they can't break into it, and then open up a door for them. That would work. Everyone row out to here from where we started, which is over there, or from here. Yeah. Alright. I don't think the kids are newbies. I think the kids are going to have it nailed. The vast majority are going to have it nailed, is my understanding, given what I've been saying to the teacher. Like I say, these aren't kids I know. These are kids I'm going. If everyone builds character. So if we had a chest over here somewhere full of rowboats, and we said go row out to the good ship Helpful. So I wonder whether I should import a ship from online, because I can't build things. Alright. If they can't row, then they swim. Yeah, that's true. So how can we make this, if not playful, at least interactive? So do we make a border block maze? Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of ways to, they can fly out here, but they won't be able to get in because this whole thing will be covered or surrounded by these, so they won't be able to get in there yet, if that makes sense. So on a smaller scale, the whole good ship Helpful will be surrounded in border blocks to prevent them getting in until I'm ready, or until we're ready as a group to go in there. So yeah, my first thought around the border blocks was to create a border block maze. So underneath here, for example, the students have got to find their way through the maze of border blocks without actually knowing where the border blocks are. So using the particles and saying, well, I can't walk over here, I've got to find the way through, was one thought for the border blocks. And I think that's reasonable. So I'm thinking that first activity for border blocks is quite okay and shouldn't be too unenjoyable. So if we had, a diamond block in the middle or something, and they could find their way to that, and when they stand on that, they get shunted off to the next experience, interactive, fun, playful thing. If only they had a trident. No, that's not in here yet, is it? If you do put them in creative, they eventually see how you did it, so they can simply use their own. Yeah. Yes, they cheat and go underneath. They won't be able to. We'll set it up so that they can't do that. So they get to the middle of the maze, they get teleported to the next interactive experience. So let's say that's one. It'll be much bigger than this, so let's get rid of them. Any of you guys are welcome to come in too if you want to get into the world. So maze, so let's if I could type, it'd be much easier. So border block maze. Alright, so how do we get interactive fun with build allow and build disallow? I was thinking very, very sketchily, because not everyone likes parkour and jumping puzzles, and if we do have students who haven't played a lot before, it would make it a lot harder for them to engage. So I was thinking bury them. you know, they have to place a block here to be able to jump up to there, and they can only place a block there. The trick is, how do we make that multiplayer? And then from here, you know, they can jump to here and then place a block to jump up a level here or something. So sort of like a bit of a jumping puzzle maze kind of thing, whereby they understand that they can't, if I turn World Builder off, they can't place blocks here, they can here, which means they can then jump up. Have to build a thing, and they have to figure out where they can place. The problem with that is it's completely, if my understanding is right, oh, I'm still in. Does it work vertically like this? Yeah, okay. No, I wanted that one there. We should auto type, auto get in there to type. So a block puzzle of some sort. Right, so they've got a, but then how do we reset it? Do we have, maybe we have multiples. Maybe we clone this 5 to 10 times and make it so that only one person. Feels like they're going pull to minus the gun. Eh. Do we clone it and have multiple copies of this particular activity? And then from there, we only allow one player in at a time. And when that player finishes, we reset. Because that's doable. That's easily doable. Alright. So along the way, I was thinking, what's naturally the most important thing I want them to know? There are two things, I think, that we need them to know. Yeah, two things initially. So this and this. So what I need to do is have these guys available. Can you clone cameras? Because you can't, because they're because they're entities. So that's 793, 68, 66. Are they a proper entity? No. I'll let all the squids go back. So you can't. So you can't teleport them like that. But can you clone? So you can't clone them either. That's alright. That just means they have to, the first thing they learn is how to place them. Isn't it really? That's got to be the way it happens. So the first thing, because what I want them to do, ideally, oh, not that one, is take a selfie with them standing at the center of the maze, kind of thing. Yeah, you can clone a chest with the items in it. So, and I have no issue giving this. So they're probably going to have a set fixed inventory slot anyway of the camera and the portfolio. But we'll do that towards the sort of when we go into this set area. I will say, well, this is how you'll have access to these couple of items, and this will show you how to use them. So, you know, it'll be instructions around, you know, there'll be a sign or a board or whatever here saying take a selfie with you standing at the block here, you know, and then jump on it and move on to the next challenge. You know, so they have to take a photo of them completing each challenge. So for the jumping puzzle here, they would have, you know, take a photo, you know, whether it's a selfie or a photo, so we change it. So take a photo of, you know, this view here, and then step through the portal to go to the next challenge kind of thing. And then, so these guys will be support and helpful along the way. Oh, do I have the chemistry pack enabled in this? No, but interesting. You have access to the scientist skins without the chemistry pack? See you later, Ben. Thanks for dropping by, man. I really appreciate it. I didn't know that about all of the skins. So these guys, they're going to be interacting with from the start, because these are going to give them instructions. Yeah, I think I do have your, because I was testing it. Didn't we talk about fixing it? Yeah. Lots of test packs in my install here. So I should be writing a list. Someone else should write a list for me. One of my faithful viewers of what we need them to learn. So we need them to learn how to interact with NPCs. So perhaps the first NPC gives them the chance to choose which activity they go for, so they can do the do the border block maze, or the allow disallow challenge, or something like that. All three of you, yeah. Well, there's only one faithful viewer. Thank you, Trish. He's here pretty much every stream, and he discounts you, I'm sorry to say. But I suppose you have been here a couple of times, and I do appreciate it, so don't take it that I don't. So maybe the first NPC gives them the choice of which challenge they go to first. The disadvantage of that is it becomes less linear and therefore harder to manage, doesn't it? If they get to choose their starting point. Oh no, not if we just put it in a loop. So if you think about, doesn't matter where you start, so let's say a clock, it doesn't matter where you start. If you always go clockwise, you will always get all of them. So do we give them one NPC at the start that says choose the challenge you want to start with? You will do all of them. Da, 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 and then it sequentials through them. No choice after that. You just go through. So they can choose the one they want to learn first, but after that they follow a sequence. No, I didn't map it on Twine first, and that's what I'm thinking. Should I? But if that means it's loopy, 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 where as opposed to just a linear path, which is circular, that makes sense. So if they start with the jumping puzzle, then the last puzzle they do is the border block maze. You know, so if this is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, da, 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 and they start here, then they just follow all the way around all the different challenges until they get back to here. All right. These guys will be through it. So at some point there's going to be a world builder challenge where they get given world builder and can make NPCs. If I'm not in world builder, I can still place them, okay, and break them, okay. It's just NPCs and build, allow and disallow blocks, okay. So how do we do that? So most important is creating NPCs. So if we have another challenge, I really should just use a fill command, shouldn't I? So the trick is typing is so crazy. So world builder NPC challenge. So the trick is, I suppose everyone has already done this, and at every challenge, so maybe, because what are the keys they need? They need to know how to interact with NPCs. Now, for the majority of kids, interacting in Minecraft means right-clicking, so that's not an issue. You know, and if you're not in World Builder, then even punching them does nothing, so naturally you're going to right-click them, so that's fine. No, not command blocks, Trish. No, definitely not. Not at this stage. This is just to get them comfortable with the tools they have for learning in Education Edition. So they're already comfortable with the game and how to play, how to move, how to place, how to break, all that sort of stuff, the majority. What I want them to know how to do is interact with these guys, use this, and use this. So the final challenge is to create their portfolio and export that. All right. So that's the final challenge. So it does need to have a linear path. So do I have 20 different linear paths or not? I think writing these, like having access to these, or at least giving them the option to have a look at these throughout the map is going to be important. The slates, the posters and the boards. But there's no, like, create a sign would be just as efficient in a lot of cases. So I'm thinking that sort of these 3 challenges are the main interactive and playful ones. The use of the camera comes out through them, and then the portfolio is the final. This is what I did it like this, I made it to the center of the maze, I made it to the top of the jumping puzzle, and I created an NPC that says, you know, that has my name on it, and a little bit about me, you know, is what I'm thinking. Because I want to know, I want to learn something about these kids, because I think I'm going to be working with these kids on an ongoing basis. So, right, so that's my way of getting information about those kids so that I know, in theory, who they are, because I've never met them before. And what we're talking about doing is on a Thursday morning, some stage in the nearest future, once they've got issues launching the programs at the moment, but once we get over those issues, we're talking about me going in there and spending an hour with the teacher and planning the next lesson, not this one per se, the next lesson, and then an hour with the kids doing a bit of an intro to Education Edition, starting over there and letting them have a go, and then coming over here and going through the EE specific stuff. And then from there, we start doing some math lessons and science lessons and stuff like that. So it's been a while since I started a class in Education Edition, or in Minecraft at all, actually. But I always remember doing an introductory class. So this is basically the introductory class. You know, it gives them that whole Minecraft in school is different to Minecraft at home in terms of the expectations. In terms of what we do, it may or may not be different. It equips them with the skills, whether that's the gameplay skills they need to move forward, or whether it's the stuff I need them to do. So I remember before we did multiple of my lessons where students had to write in books, we did an intro sort of on how to write in books so that everyone knew how to do it. So it's just that these are the skills we need them to have throughout their Minecraft learning. So let's do an intro that covers all of those kind of things, if that makes sense. Am I making sense, or are you guys sitting there going, what is he talking about? I'm going to take a drink. I'm thirsty. Talking so much. I always think that about you. This 11-second latency thing is going to irritate me, but keep going. Oh, that I'm crazy. Yeah, okay. It took me 11 seconds to work out what you were talking about. Alright. Trish, can you post a link to that in chat? I wonder what you can and cannot do. Just as a matter of interest, can you do it? Because it is funny. Just don't do the bloody marsupial one, because that was Australian bashing, and I don't like Australian bashing. Okay, so interacting with NPCs is throughout. The signs and the boards and all that sort of stuff can also be throughout. Allow and deny is its own special puzzle so that they can learn how to interact with them. Thank you. And then build an NPC, choose a skin, and name them after you, first name only, or first name last initial if there's multiple of the first names in the class, and then a little bit about you. And maybe sort of like a question about, like, maybe in their portfolio, oh no, so portfolio is just for exporting images with captions, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, so what's the book and quill? And is that easily exportable? It's not, is it? That's a good way of spelling testing. Right, oh, you can export it. Okay. Okay. Ooh, you can post. Cool. Ooh. So give that back. So why would I... Okay, so here is a question for you. Why would I get them to use the portfolio if I can have photos, captions, right, and text? What's the advantage to the portfolio over and above the book. I take it that ha 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 is about that video, Matt. So I know the portfolio can be in the set fixed inventory slot and the book cannot at this stage. And the portfolio, I guess, stays with the player no matter what. So if I throw my portfolio away and get another portfolio, it's still my portfolio, whereas if I throw the book away and get another book, it's not. So there's one advantage. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of... So what do you do in your classes, Trish? In terms of getting the students, do you get them to use the book and quill, or do you get them to use the portfolio, or do you get them to use both and explain the difference between them? What a random question. Ever try picking up a burrito with your feet, Matt? It's a bit of a personal question, really. So, do I do both? Do I say you must submit a portfolio, you know, or you must submit your book, or do I do both? What's the advantage to doing both? For what year levels am I doing? Hang on. I think it's grades 3, 4. Yeah. So what's that? That's 8 to 10-year-olds. Yeah, so 8 to 10-year-olds, yeah. So 8 to 10-year-olds, we're better off with the portfolio. So forget the book and quill. Yeah. So we don't need them to do a whole heap of writing. We just want them to take photos of their... So take a photo of your NPC, you know, with your name on it. And then I can check out who it is. Yeah, okay. So that explains that. Okay. So forget book and quill, we don't worry about that because we're not going to have that much writing. Okay, so that's easy. So we start here with an NPC. We have 1, 2, 3 different challenges that introduce them to the core mechanics of border blocks, build, allow, disallow, and world builders and NPCs. Do I want them in their NPC to go into advanced settings? Probably not at this stage. So basically what I want from them is that, you know, call at them and tell me something about them, right? And then they just take a photo of said NPC and that goes in their portfolio and they export their portfolio to me. They can even take a selfie. Hey, I didn't know you could do that. Oh, it's too close. Go back. That looks amazing. Oh. That's awesome. I shouldn't be laughing so much about that. That is amazing. That has got to be the best photo I've ever taken. Oh dear. I love that one. I'm going to have to export that. Which one's that, Trish? Is that the marsupial one? Now you two are just spamming my chat with YouTube videos. You're not supposed to be watching YouTube, you're supposed to be watching me. Okay. Oh, the fruit bat, okay. I haven't watched any more but the marsupial one because I got offended. No, I didn't really. I haven't had time. Alright. So if these happen throughout, the portfolio happens at the end. I probably should. It is an awesome photo, don't you think? It's just... It's... Yeah, I just... Yeah, anyway. Distracted. Even NPCs love me. That's how amazing I am. How's that? There you go. There's a line for you. Alright. So now I just need to start building it. So if that's the world spawn over there. Do I want to cheat? Or not? Kind of like strangling you a little bit. I'd like to think of it as a very nice hug, Matt. Bit of a cuddle. Do I cheat and put the border blocks high up in the air so that they don't see them? Right? Until we're ready to go here. So do I put them all the way up here where they won't see them? You know? Or do I put them down there so that they can clearly see them? Do I want to be transparent or do I want to be secretive? Is the real question here. No, what is it? Set block. Oh, it does do particles down as well, so forget that. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. How far down do they go? Follow the red cross down into the depths of the ocean. It's starting to dissipate now, is it? And up we go. Okay, so I need a start. Oh. Oh! You know what that means? I don't have world builder permission. I can't place nor break these blocks. However, ooh. I wonder whether the team want to know about that. Speaking of cheating, or is it because I'm op and I can actually use those commands? I don't really want to de-op myself. So what I want so what I'd be interested in knowing from here is if, because it's my world, I immediately have op. If this wasn't my world, would I still have that ability or not? But I can't test that until one of you guys can join, because then I can take op off you guys. Okay. And then make a bit of a dock. So the kids can come and dock at it. Right, and they come up here onto my alleged yacht. Let me get you that in Teams, Trish. For a start, let's get Teams up. And log into my router. No, don't post it in Twitch chat, Stephen. It's in Teams, Trish. And it should all be working, actually. Wake up other computer. Let's check there's no important emails. Can you see me, Microsoft? Yes, it can. Good. So I should be answering. No, there's not. Good. All right. So if this was a massive yacht, say, do I cheat or do I go all the way down? Probably have it deeper. Here's Trish. Hello, all the way over there. There you go, now you're here. Oh, and now you're drowning. Sorry. Alright, so you're de-opt. Oh, which means you can't... Oh, you've already got yourself in creative. Okay, so now try the command to place... So, what is it? Set block / set block. So you won't have world builder permission because you're in my world now. Let me put the command in. So you can't do that one. Unknown command. Oh, you need to get rid of the tilde in front of it. I put the tilde in front of it so it wouldn't be a command when I typed it, if that makes sense. And it's 3, 2. Does it help? Not much. Oh, it does from up here. And when I typed it with that, I got unknown command. Okay, so now if I op Trish, try it now. Oh, nowhere near low enough. It worked. Okay, so it is to do with op. So if you're a student in my world, then you're not going to have that unless I give it to you, because you shouldn't start with op, I wouldn't have thought. I've messed this up somehow. Yeah, okay. So that's, and now it's 3, 3, 3. Okay, so it is op. And then 2 down and then 2 across. We're on the same, we are on the same level now. Nice. There you go. That looks big enough, I think. What are you doing to poor Fred? Did they bend out? Let's bend it out. And then back in. Because like it doesn't all have to be on the yacht. Now you're trying to get a cuddle from Fred now, I see. Jealousy's a curse, Trish. It's not a bad shape. Now we just got to mirror it. Two, 3, 4, 5, 9. Two, 6. 4, 2, 3, 3. That's 4, 2, 3, 3, isn't it? Another 3. Counting with Elfie. Then 2, 2, 3, 2. And I've got another 2, 2. Look at that. It's like it was made for it. If we start in the middle back here. I'm an expert boat builder. I think you'd all agree. Hear the camera go. You're still trying to get a cuddle. What are you doing? Alright, so that's the basic shape of the ship. It's not long enough, it's too wide. But it'll do. It'll do. So I think the border block challenge could be on this. Do I need to fill in? Yeah, if you can be bothered. I don't expect you to do my building for me, Trish. You have a busy enough life on your own, and you don't need to shout at me. Teehee. So I'm thinking what we might be able to do here is, as students come up here, this could be the first mate, and they tell them, get to the captain, and the captain's up here. But it looks like a straight shot, but it's not, because it's the border block maze. Yes. Okay, please continue to shout then. This could actually be the side of the border block maze, and then the captain will do whatever he does, whether he teleports them or whatever to the next, you know, walk the plank kind of thing, or whatever. We could do a walk the plank kind of thing. For the allow disallow block sort of challenge. Yeah, I reckon we could do the border block challenge on here. So do I have World Builder? I do. And now, do I need to skin these so they look like pirates? You know I want to. That'll do. Ninja pirates. You're not going to let me live that down, are you? Who should the captain be? Captain. Right. And then maybe they have a button ready for the next challenge in there. Right. I don't look forward to doing the hull. I think it does really look too wide, doesn't it? Hang on, Trish. Hang on. It really does look far too wide. And 11 seconds later, Trish will hear me say that. Told ya, about 11 seconds. Come and stand here and tell me what you honestly think. Is it too wide? Or do you think we'll be right? I want it to be a maze, so I want it to be wide enough to be a maze. So it's probably alright, isn't it? Be honest. You think it's too wide? Yes is not an answer when I ask you 3 questions in 11 seconds. So I will ask you one. Is it too wide? All right. Yeah, I want a maze. This is going to be the maze. So to get from the first mate to the captain is a maze. An invisible maze with these guys. Which is not so invisible, really. The problem with adding length is it adds complexity to the maze, and I want it to be a relatively simple maze. Like, I don't want to make the kids spend half an hour trying to get it to all the people always look thinner. I don't want to make it take them 20 minutes to get through the maze. I really only want it to be no more than 5 minutes to get through the maze, if that makes sense. I suppose I don't need border blocks all the way around it. Like in a big area like I was thinking. We could just put them over the entrance. Like so. Short chubby. The good ship chubby. Helpful, you reckon? So if we just put the border blocks across the entrance, and then when we're ready, I say go to the ship, and I'd clear the border blocks. Because in theory, without world builder, oh, you can't even jump on the... Ah, they're not actual fences. They look like fences, but they take up a full block. The more you know. I thought they'd be able to jump up, which is why I put them out so wide. But they can't even jump up there. And there's no way they can jump that. So we don't even need to worry about putting them out wide. Nice. The things you learn. Alright. So if that's... How do I incorporate the next step then? Because these two interact in different ways based upon the world settings. So how do I get them to understand the difference between when the world is immutable and when the world isn't? Or do I just say, do we just do it like we have here? So the world is not immutable, but they're unable to place blocks anywhere on under here except for where the allow blocks are is probably that's probably the most logical thing. See, did we decide that NPCs can't run set fixed inf slot? Didn't we? I think, from memory. I have a feeling we decided that. Feel free to fix my English, not to American English, but English more appropriate for, what did I say, 8 to 9-year-olds, 8 to 10-year-olds. Okay. Go away, Fred. Make sure you leave my aberrant use in. There's a Skype message. I thought, seriously, that I had shut Skype on this computer, but apparently I have not. But I shall, so that you guys don't get barraged with notifications. Hey. Ooh, framey there. Is it me or is that really framey? Really, really dark. Are my game settings up as bright as they can be? I don't think there is a brightness on this one, is there? Ah, there is. Does that help? Right. Oh, Trish left. Okay. Did you get kicked? Or did you drop out? Or did you leave? Okay, yeah, that's fine. You're more than welcome to steal it. I will at some stage be putting it on education.minecraft.net at some stage, like all my other maps that I create. At some stage it'll happen. Try and get some of the skeleton of the ship created so that it's easier just to fill in. See you, Trish. Thanks for dropping by and thanks for your help filling in the ship. I really appreciate it. want a bigger one. Poster will probably be big enough. That makes sense, I hope. Take a photo. Selfie if you can of you and the captain. Use your camera and right click the floor with the camera in your hand, or right click the floor to place it, then right click again to take a selfie. I'm getting another hug. Oh, I wish they would angle. I hate that they're so flat. Do these angle? No. Signs do. So I guess for my own purposes, I probably should lay down a path of the correct way to go. Right, so if we said this was the correct path, I don't think I've ever actually made a maze in Minecraft before. So if that's the correct path, is it enough? No, I need some offshoots. So basically there is a big starting point here. Like that. And they won't be able to walk anywhere else other than into there. So I think, if I'm right, am I able to place, so that's under there, oh, so that's that one, and if I don't have, yeah, that's what I was worried about. Okay. Like that. So that. It's interesting, the particles go funny when you're on a border block. So now I can try and click him, but I still can't get any further out. So let's get a different kind of block. Give myself back World Builder. want it to be ended really quick. So I want incorrect ways to go, but I don't want them to be hugely incorrect, if that makes sense. And I don't think I want to branch them too far. I wonder how mayhem this is going to be with students in here and all of those kids trying to do the maze at the same time. Will they be able to see the particles? If you know what I mean. Do I want to loop? Yeah, why not? Do I want a shortcut? Like, I'm trying not to branch the incorrect paths too much. So I can't reach him from here. I can from here. If there are border blocks here, can I reach over the border blocks and interact with said NPC? No! Wow! Learning things all the time. That's really good. That's actually really good. So there's only, you know, so there'll be border blocks preventing access to that NPC. I'll better delete you. Okay. So now I just surround everything in those. Don't I? Then put it all back to iron, and we'll be fine. I wonder what having this many border blocks in such a small area is going to do in terms of particle lag. On student computers. Whew. It's actually really hard to place blocks under like this. keep hitting shift when I shouldn't be. Ooh. How does it look? It's pretty clear there's something going on, so they're going to know, which is exactly what the whole purpose is. So it's going to be fairly easy for them to work out what's going on, I reckon. And with it, I mean, they may end up all just following each other, which I'm not personally all too concerned about. Because that, as far as I'm concerned, counts as collaboration. So the next question is this maze too complex for, I suppose I can test it on my daughter. 8 to 10-year-olds. She's 7. I'm getting dizzy. How are you guys doing? Whew. Placing up is, I reckon. So, it's not too hard to see if you're careful. So if we particle still say split screening gameplay names. Okay, I don't know. So do we have particles in this one? Doesn't look like we do. Now that I'm not underwater, I will be, so let's leave that at 100 actually. So it's not too complex, I don't reckon. Probably should have taken a screenshot before I did this. Okay. So, get to the captain. Right, there's nowhere else to go. So I start looking at the red things coming up through the ground. I very quickly work out where I can and cannot go. Where is it? So this would get... This would get kind of frustrating because you have no sense. Can't even solve my own maze. Yeah, so you get no sense of where you've been. Yeah. Okay. So what if I follow the process of left hand down? You know, go left anytime you can. Follow the left wall essentially. Then you loop. No. Is it too complex? I'm conscious of stress levels and anxiety levels. Like, how do we... Yeah. Say, I can keep going that way, but I don't reckon I want to. I reckon I want to go this way. So if you go slow, I mean, I've got the advantage of knowing that I created runoffs that go blank. So maybe I need less runoffs. Nope. Because I can run off here. You know. So if you look carefully, am I in World Builder? Have I just done this whole maze in World Builder? You idiot. Alright, let's try that again. So maybe having signposts like emerald blocks every now and then. Alright, so if I put you know, so that that's listed as a dead end. I'm guessing that's a dead end. No, you're not. So if we went to each of the dead ends, which I'm pretty sure there's one right here. While I'm here, and I think we go this way. Yeah. That just is a dead end. Yeah, so if you take your time, when I know I created it, so I have some knowledge. This is a dead end, I think. Can't actually get to him because I've balked it up, I think. Have I? Yes, there is no way out. Alright, so if we put red and green signposts around the place, Right, from under here. You're not a dead end. You are. Entrance. Do I need to seal you? And you. So there's only start on the green thing and away we go. Right, you've got a red thing. So if we tell them, if you get to red it's a dead end, go back to the most recent green. Right. If you hit red, it's a dead end. Go back to the most recent green. Oh, what has happened here? I'm going crazy. Oh. You're definitely red. Right. So we turn this way. We put a green here. Come this way. We turn here. We can only go this way. You need to be a green. And you're the exit. So, does that help? Start on green. If you get to a red, go back to the most recent green and try a different way. If you get to a red, turn back. Go back to the most recent green, find a different way. So what's to stop me just tracking the greens? Because there are situations where you can't track the green directly. Alright. when I click this, guys. What's going on over here? Alright, so I'm in non-world builder now. So there are some cases where you can't just track green, but there are others where you can. Then it's obvious you wouldn't go that way to get to this green. I don't think that's too bad actually. So I'll test it on my daughter. It's not too bad, I don't think. Okay. So then what do I want? What's the story? Let's talk about story while I fill in some of the ship here. So the captain, what's he going to do? He's going to ask you to go and get a treasure. And you need to use your jumping skills to do said treasure gathering. So you jump off the ship here because there's no but I want 20 different people. I want a few different options. So you might jump down here, but you'll be presented with an array of doors. So we might jump off there. Right. So you jump off onto this. So I want to make it so they can get back on if they need. Right, and then on this platform we'll have a set of doors that teleport them to our various jumping puzzles. Right. And that door, how do I do that? Locks as long as a student is in there. I think. Wake up at the computer. Still nothing drastic happening that needs my immediate attention. Alright, so I might take a 5-minute break and go grab something to eat, because I've been live for nearly 2 hours, so I need to go and grab something to eat. So I shall be back momentarily, if I can get this to do what it needs to do.